You're watching Beyond the Band, sponsored by Pale Horse Sound. Four friends from Ogden, Utah are infusing blues, soul, and rock and roll, creating one unique jam band known as the Wednesday People. You're watching Beyond the Band, and joining me on this episode is the Wednesday People. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
So, KJ, you said you kind of started your little EP project and then brought these guys in. Tell me about the process behind that.
So, about, I think a year and a half ago, I recorded our My Blue Moon EP. I did that just basically all DIY. Didn't go into any big studio for that. Just did it as a solo project, and then it kind of escalated from there. I realized I wanted to be more than just like a solo project, and so I had like band members that I would play with, but then I met all these guys, and we went from there with that. Kind of changed our sound from the EP. I definitely met a whole new group of people, which like influenced my music in a different way.
So how did you guys all meet then?
I think I've known this kid since,
Since infant? Is that infant?
youngins. So, but we've always been into music together, and we've been in bands in the past together. Me and Chase here, and then
I met these two at Denny's because I was waiting tables.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
So how did you strike up that conversation then if you're waiting tables?
You know, just my really great customer service.
Yeah? Either you knew they were in a band and you were just trying to get in, you're like, I swear I heard them say they needed a band member.
Yeah, I don't even remember how it happened. Like, and then, well, this was like years ago, like 4 years ago though, and we didn't start playing together until 7-8 months ago.
Yeah.
And so they would just always come in. They were regulars of mine, and we would always hang out. Him and his brother were in a band, and they started talking about that. Elijah here and his brother, and I was in another band as well at the time, and I was like, oh, we should play shows together and stuff, and that kind of got our friendship going. And then I ended up playing a show with his original band lineup.
Okay.
And so it all just kind of sparked from there. We all kind of became homies. We're playing shows together, and
Well, and ultimately we like all met at a local venue in Ogden called Mojo's.
Oh, yeah.
We all knew of
That's
each other.
true.
We were
That's
all
true.
in different little bands, and
forgot about that.
we're like, oh.
So long ago. Man.
And and then once that shut down, I think it like forced everyone to like spread apart and take their territories wherever else they wanted to. And, so,
Good old Mojo's.
Yeah.
No longer open anymore.
Yeah.
Back up in O-Town, huh?
Crazy. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
And now, KJ, you had mentioned that your sound has changed from the EP, from kind of where you took it to these guys. And I've noticed that with your song Mountain People that all of you guys contributed to.
yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how that changed, because I can hear it as a listener, kind of the change, but for those of you who don't pick up on the change, why don't you tell us what you did there?
Well, I think like when I first started out, I was really into like folk music, a lot of singer-songwriter stuff, and that's how I was going about it. I learned the acoustic guitar. I never really touched the electric guitar for a couple of years, and so I started out with that, really focused on my songwriting, and then as time went on, I bought an electric guitar and realized that it'd be cool to be in like a rock and roll band, and so I met all these guys, and I think they've all really been into the blues and the Grateful Dead and just bands that I never really paid attention to. I knew of, but they were never like, they never stood out to me when I was younger. But as time went on, I started listening to those bands and playing with these guys, and it just like changed it completely. I still have like my folk inspirations and stuff, but I really enjoy like jam bands and other bands like that.
Well,
it's funny that you mentioned Mountain
Yeah.
People too, because it's literally the first day we got together as a group and decided that we were going to play
That was
as
the
a band.
first song that we ever wrote.
It just
First day of
happened,
practice.
it just came up
Yeah.
with it.
First song we ever wrote, and it became our first banger. You know,
Yeah.
and it's kind of cool too, because I feel like Mountain People still kind of sticks to like that folk root. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It still has that like Americana sound, like, you know what I mean? A little bit of jam band in there, but
Right.
still folky, and like, all right, this is like you know.
Well, and in my opinion, I think you guys helped take it to the next level. Like your EP and stuff, I love it, and it's
Yeah.
definitely soul and bluesy. But I feel like with the release of Mountain People, it's just got like another element that just elevates like
Yes.
everything that you've done on that EP, but takes it up just a notch, which is incredible.
Yeah, I think we all rely on like each other's skills, especially with our new music. It's really jam based.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's just
really,
nice to be in
really
a
high.
group where everyone's mentality is the same on the music.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
show up to practice and it's not, what should we do? It's everyone doesn't even have to say a word, it just happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
just
no
a
like,
song.
it's weird. There's no verbal communication. You know what I mean? We start playing, like, he writes a little thingy. It could be one note. And I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. I play a beat to it, and then
Next thing you know, it turns into a jam.
a
We
jam.
structure it
and-
out.
yeah.
And
I mean, and then we're playing it at our next concert, you
Right.
know? And it just, like, like I said, very little verbal communication. It's all music with us, and
Which is
it's
good.
just crazy connection right from the beginning, you know?
Have you guys faced any challenges working together, like when you guys first started?
maybe
You look like you've got something now there. Do share.
being late, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm being late to interviews.
Understandable.
So, what?
I did that.
Oh, so I think for me personally, a pretty big challenge, and it's still kind of ongoing, I would say. So I am in another band, and with my brother, and we still play together and stuff, and so it's just like conflicting schedules sometimes, and it's just a little complicated at times, and that gets pretty stressful. But like for me, other than that, I mean,
I think it's worth it.
Oh
honestly.
my God, it's been a blast. I mean, like within the past 7-8 months, I have never seen so like we have we're doing all these things. We're going on our first tour
Yeah.
Wednesday. We're leaving Wednesday.
Right.
So-
And that's up in Boise, right? That's part of the tour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our first show will be in Boise
Yeah.
with a couple of good friends of ours at a new venue that just opened up out there. So we're pretty excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Caden here is going minute by minute, writing
Yeah,
out an agenda.
man. Yeah, I wrote out-
I'm like, okay, right this time,
Who knows
on this
how-
day, we're doing this, on this, and we got it, like, and the crazy thing is it's like, there's no time in between, like, we have a show, we pack up, drive to the next date, play show, you know what I mean? It's just bam, 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 bam,
Yeah.
luckily, right in the middle, we do have some downtime where we get to we're gonna go to hit the coast and just relax a little bit, but other than that, just picking right back up, just
Yeah.
show, you know what I mean? Just city after city, so, yeah.
We've done a lot of math.
Yeah,
I've
done a lot of math.
math problems.
Man, I never thought I'd
Figuring
use
out
math
prices
like
and gas.
Figuring out
physics.
miles per gallon and
Yeah.
like how much like ballpark we need for gas, and then we're estimating like a couple hundred more than that because I mean,
Yeah.
we're going to Oregon and Washington, like these are dope places. We want to explore a
Right.
little bit, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, lots of math. It's been
Recording a lot.
we've been in the studio trying to like record some stuff to release for the tour, so you know what I mean. So we have material for people to listen to.
We have a song where this guy's got like a drum solo intertwined within an interlude that turns into a samba beat that goes into it's
Yeah.
cool
Pretty
stuff.
tribal at the
Yeah.
end.
And what
super-
song is that? Can we find out the name
Well,
of
it's
that?
It has a working title right now.
But
A
It's
working
different
title.
every show.
It,
Yeah.
well,
Oh,
so
okay.
it started out as the peanut butter and jelly jam sandwich.
Wow.
Yeah.
So and then
Quite the title.
So yeah, so we just kind of cut it down to PBJ because it's a jam song.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
we just jam and we're like, screw it, like we don't have to be serious on every single song name. So we just came up with a name, and like it's a song that we stick with a lot of our sets because it's just
And the
it's
crowd
so,
digs it.
It's
oh
a
yeah,
good-
it's a
it's-
dancing
it's
song.
a dancing
It's-
song and
has
they're like
lots of
PB
energy.
like the peanut butter jelly jam sandwich. Like,
Yeah,
It
I mean,
just
come on.
sounds fun.
Like, how could you not like?
Should you
jam
guys
out to
open
that?
with that song? Are you going to?
It's
So-
usually like a.
It's usually second, right?
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I
second.
I don't know.
No, it's
sometimes
third,
it's like
it's
in the
third
middle,
now.
like
Yeah.
a reprise almost.
Yeah.
Get everyone rejuvenated halfway
We like
through.
to open up with like some psychedelic.
Well, so that's the thing. So a lot
Music.
of our we have. Can I talk about that? Or am I
Yeah.
saving it?
Is that
Oh,
confidential?
yeah,
Yeah, is it confidential? Like, for the,
Go ahead.
okay, so basically, our like, we've had our set in such a way that like the first 3 songs are in the same key, okay, and so by doing that we can make transitions and interludes in between each song to make it one continuous song for the first 20-30 minutes of the set, or not 30 minutes, but like I would
However long
say
you want to jam
I would say
it out.
15
Yeah.
15 minutes
Until
at
you're
least.
tired.
It's one continuous song without a break, without a single break, and it's
It's an interesting feeling to experience that,
Yeah.
especially in today's music world, because I feel like, at least for young people, like, I'm just speaking maybe from my opinions, but like no one's really felt something like that for quite some time. To see artists on stage working together with these wooden guitar things, right? Like, instead of these beat pads, and they're doing it in a way that like it just flows so naturally, and it just each song, like you listen to bands like The Dead. I mean,
well I think the best way I would describe it is Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah,
Every
each
song
song
connects to each
just
other.
flows.
It's just one continuous, you know what I mean? You would never hear a break if you just listen to it continuously. And that's really like what we're trying to bring back, just jamming out, you know what I mean, for long periods of time.
So you said you're doing that at your concerts then. There's no
Yeah.
breaks, just continuous.
Uh-huh.
well, there's in between parts of the set, yeah, but
Right.
for the first 3 songs,
Yeah, it's just one continuous.
So do you guys plan to do that on your EP that you're going to release?
I
Is
would
it gonna
love
be?
to do
I would
that.
love
Yeah,
to do that.
I mean, I would say
That's
yeah.
fun,
It's I
one,
think
yeah.
I think that'd be badass.
It's tough too because a lot of studios they want that song that's going to be on the radio and whatnot, and people don't tend to play a whole album in a line together, But I think that's where we're trying to
Yeah, I think
set
that's-
apart from other bands is bringing back that natural feeling of like the Grateful Dead just having their long albums. I mean, their songs are 15 minutes long,
Mhm.
which is awesome. If you can do that, you're a great musician, And I think we definitely have been working on that with a lot of our songs. They've had multiple parts and they've been longer songs. So.
I was going to say, go ahead.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what you were saying with like building that scene kind of thing. Like that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring back like that, how the experience that people had maybe back in the 60s and 70s or whatever. But it's interesting as someone who wasn't there to be like, how can I do something like that? Like something really cool, something great.
Right. Well, and I think too, when you don't have breaks between songs, it's almost like a narrative of a story. It's
Yeah.
just taking you on this journey. And I think for the listener, the audience, it's more like, oh, we're going somewhere with this. It's not just start, stop, start, stop. It's a
It just tells a story, exactly. Yeah.
I believe music should be an experience, and this lineup does a really good job of capturing that. So it's very fun.
Well, I agree. I definitely think music should be an experience, and I think you guys bring something a little bit different to the table than other bands are doing, where you're creating an experience. And I think a lot of younger listeners don't, if they haven't, they should. Pink Floyd, Grateful Dead, look at those bands and realize those are cool. It's an experience. It's, and you guys are kind of bringing that back, resurrecting that, and I think that's a great thing to do. You're taking your old roots and mixing them with yours, infusing them, which is, I think, stellar.
Yeah.
So,
It's difficult because we set the bar so high with ourselves, and
It can be, yeah.
it's frustrating at times because we want to be not the best, but we want to be the best.
I mean, you listen
According to us,
You
like,
turn on a
like, we want
Hendrix
to be the
album,
best
it's
that we
like
think we can be.
you want to be as good as him, but it's
Right.
nearly impossible. But
Right.
it's
Oh
like,
yeah, no, I mean that's how I
hard
feel
you wanna
like.
try.
I mean, one of my biggest inspirations for drumming is John Bonham. In fact, my Twitter name is Josh Bonham. So, anyway, so
Give him a follow. G.
follow. Okay, so I mean, like, I aspire to be like that, and I mean, his drumming is just incredible. He completely changed drumming. I mean, his style of playing is totally different than anyone else's, and I love it. So I take a lot of influence from John Bonham, from Floyd, a little bit of the Dead, but they're a little bit different style than I am. So it's like according to my drumming, but I just really want to aspire to be those artists.
Yeah.
When I
just
think,
keep raising the bar higher. You know.
I was gonna say that's a good thing to do, and not. It seems like you guys don't get discouraged if you're not as good as your idols. It's like, nope, I'm just gonna keep trying till we get there. So for people who don't know where to find you or follow you, where can they go to see more of your content?
We're on like Facebook, just under the Wednesday People. We're on Twitter.
And it's
And
at the Wed People.
Yeah,
Is it capital W-E-D?
WWED.
Okay.
The
The
Wed
Wed
People.
yeah. And then we're on Instagram as well.
The
It's just the
People,
Wednesday People. We're also on Spotify, so you can check our music out on Spotify.
iTunes.
iTunes? I know you're on
Spotify,
iTunes.
iTunes. Yep.
Right on.
Yeah.
Google. Oh, is it on Google Play too?
Well, there you go.
Streaming service.
Go to the World Wide Web and type them in, and I'm sure they'll pull up somewhere. So thank you guys again for coming, joining me. Special thanks to Pelhor Sound for having us in their studio. Special shout out to Greg, and we'll catch you next time.
On the next episode,
Beyond the Band.
join us, Citizen Soldier.